But what do you think you provided tonight as soon as you came in the game, especially in the second half?
I believe in that second half I provided a great spark just on the defensive end. I wasn't worried about the scoring, but as far as like the defensive end go, I feel like I helped create that big spark, getting stops when needed. We're not going to be able to hold teams to zero, so like just making sure we getting those important stops, I felt like I helped bring that today.
Jim, right up front.
Kamari, can you kind of take us through when you knew for sure you were going to play?
Yesterday after practice. I was feeling things out at first. I practiced like the last 3 practices, and I talked to the strength coach, the trainers, and I talked to coach after practice a little bit after I talked with you guys, and I just told coach that I was ready to go, and then come shoot around this morning, it was feeling even better, so I knew I was ready.
Right up front here, guys.
AJ, at the end, you had a pretty crazy left-handed dunk there. It seems like nowadays you're having kind of one of those a game. What goes through your mind as you're, looking to elevate, especially with a guy like Cliff right in front of you on that play?
Just attacking the basket full speed, really taking my stride steps, and once they see that, it's probably either a layup or they're gonna get dunked on. So.
Jeff, go ahead.
Steven, I want to ask you about 2 sequences. It was 49-49 when Kamari and Blackwell combined for that to force that shot clock violation. And then you guys were up 4, 53-49 on a possession where you got the 4 offensive rebounds, and which led to you. Both of those sequences, what do you think it gave the team, and what do you think it does to the other team when you, especially with the offensive rebounding?
Yeah, I think it's kind of deflating. When teams do that to us, it's deflating. We know, and some of these losses has happened, but I think it started way before that with Chucky in the first half. He got a couple of those steals, and we got out running, and they were hitting shots early, and we weathered that storm. And then, like you said, Killer came in, and John, and then even AJ sat a little bit there, but when he came right back in, he got right to it, and I think it was overall a great team win.
Michael?
Steve, there were a lot of misses underneath. How do you prevent that from taking you out of the paint, though? And I guess how do you keep going at it?
I think kind of like AJ said, you just got to keep going, especially when they have a shot blocker like that. He might get a couple, but the coach told us all week, just keep going, be aggressive, and it worked out for us.
Jim?
Steven, how much do you think you missed Kamari when he was out?
Yeah, no, just his boost off the bench is huge. Just I'm sure everyone sees the energy he brings to the court, and when he's scoring like this, he's hard to guard. And then, like he said, I think it's for all of us, just sticking to that defense and playing out of that defense and running in transition. That's what gets us going, and hopefully that continues.
AJ, there was a point of the season that it seemed like you were improving right here. It seemed like you were improving pretty much every single game. I guess, how do you get back to that point where you're getting better each game, and maybe you don't plateau and just kind of stay what you are, and that type of player?
Just sticking to it, keeping a short-term memory, always looking at the next game. Every night is not going to be good, but we always got the next game, so just keeping that mindset.
Ben?
Kamari, how have you tried to push John, especially in the 11 games you've missed, to be that energy, that callous off the bench, and how do you think he responded tonight in this role?
I believe he responded well. Him being a freshman and coming in, we ask a lot of him, and he responds well to whoever is talking to him, and I feel like he did great. Looking at his numbers, I didn't even know. He was just all over the place tonight, and I just give a special shout out to him. Like, he's always locked in, giving his all, and that's what I love about John.
Jim?
All right, when a guy sits out as long as you did, there's maybe a tendency to come on the court and try to do too much too soon. Was that going through your head at all, just to kind of relax and kind of play possession to possession?
I had the assistant coaches just telling me to play at my own pace, not go too crazy, try to do too much coming back my first game, and I just went with the flow. Whatever, if I was feeling good, I just kept going, and if I didn't, I would just let them know. But for the most part, I felt fine.
Jeff?
Kamari, what were your expectations that you coming in tonight? Because I can't believe you knew what you'd be able to do. It probably had to be a little bit of a guessing game for you.
I tried not to set like high expectations. Just come in. I just wanted to make sure that I came in and gave a spark, a boost. I didn't plan to come in and score as many as I did, or wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking about getting back to that rhythm that we had before I got injured. Just focusing on that.
Mike?
Steve, what's the key of going up against a shot blocker like Cliff? I guess, do you have to kind of lean into the sloppiness of that?
I think kind of like I said earlier, he's going to block a few, he might affect a few, but you just got to keep going. And like I said, the coaches, we worked on it all week. He's a great shot blocker. He has almost probably 90 blocks on the season, so he's going to get a couple, but I think you just got to keep attacking him, get to the line, get in the bonus, and yeah.
In the front, then Jim.
Kamari, I mean, the team overall had 14 steals today. I know technically you didn't record one in the stat sheet, but I mean, it seemed like you, John, Chucky, you guys are all contributing on that end. How, when you're coming off the bench with that energy, how important is it kind of to just disrupt the opponent ball handler and kind of get in a groove in that sense?
Not one. I ain't have one.
That's what the stat sheet. Don't quote me.
That's crazy. No, but just coming off the bench, creating that spark on the defensive end. That's always been my goal. Like even before I got here, playing basketball as many years as I have, I've always been a defensive minded person. So just coming in and adding to the defense that we're already putting on another team is key for me. Just coming in, making sure I'm getting stops and holding up on my end.
Jim.
AJ, I didn't see this, but social media was kind of buzzing that you kissed the floor as you left the court tonight. Was there anything to that?
Oh, yeah, T-Wall, it was his senior day, so, special shout-out to T-Wall, his last game here, so I was just doing it for him, really. Yeah. Wow.
Greg, the obvious one, what do you think number 4 gave you tonight from mostly in the second half, but even probably from start to finish in the 10 minutes he played?
Yeah, I think, it's what specifically against a team like Rutgers where you have to handle the pressure and counter the pressure. He added a piece that we've been missing. He gave us another dribble attack guy along with Chucky and AJ, or Chucky and John. And, he just brings energy to the floor. Defensively, he ripped the ball loose from Omarue off a rebound. I mean, he's a pit bull, and that's what we missed. The toughness and the grittiness and the little feistiness he brings to the floor, and it was good to see him. Came back in pretty fine form, but I didn't expect that. But he definitely gave us a boost.
Greg, Kamari obviously had the big game, and so did John. And you didn't have either of those two when you played these guys in Jersey. Just how important is it to have your full complement of bench pieces to get this team where it's trying to go?
Specifically against, as I mentioned, against a team like that, the pressures, is coming up into you, trying to, you don't run a lot of offense. You don't run a lot of sets. You get to some formations and you run, we ran more just ball screen motion tonight than we have all year, just because we didn't want to sit and let them just lock into us and climb into us. So you play a little small ball, you play where we can just attack, and guys, did a good job of that. But those two guys specifically, looking back at the game out there, is we missed that. That was we did not handle it well, but we also didn't have the guys that can handle it well, that are built for that and made for that type of play. Go ahead.
How's Max doing? Was he able to come back and just didn't need to, or?
He's a little sore. Says he's going to be okay. We'll see. I was given multiple messages on the bench. He was ready. He was on the bike. He wasn't ready. He was back with the trainer. He was back on the bike. So as long as we were okay, I felt the guys that were out there were giving us a pretty good spark. We were just going to roll with that crew.
Nick?
Hey, Greg, you mentioned kind of that small ball and a little bit of that spark specifically in the second half. What did you love on both ends that kind of extended that lead? And then when AJ came in, how did he kind of continue that with attacking? I know making the extra pass to John, too.
Yeah, that was a beautiful offensive possession there with Johnny, or with Chucky starting it on the other end, but on the other side of the floor. But, defensively, we turned our defense into offense. We were able to, that's a hard team to score against. So if you can get them in transition and get some easy baskets. I thought also in the first half, getting to the free throw line, getting to the bonus relatively quick was big. I thought Chucky made some big plays when we were struggling and scuffling, and we turned the ball over too much early and played a little too fast, and just settled in a little bit. And then obviously in the second half, I thought we were much better. Obviously defensively, we got them under one both halves. So, we just were able to do a lot of good things and play in transition, which this group is good at when they get going.
Michael, then Jim and Jeff.
Steve didn't shoot well, but didn't stop him from shooting. I guess is that what you need from him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he gets a double-double. I don't know if he got all of his rebounds on one possession there. So you got to stop padding your stats. But, no, he was just, he's got to continue to go to him. Sometimes with the pressure, it's hard to get it, because we end up making a play before we can really get him into where we need to. And he got better in the second half at running to the rim. We talked about that. And ball screen, just put yourself on the rim, and these guys will find you. You clean up the mess that's there. And he did that and was physical and aggressive, which was good. Jimmy.
When guys sit out for a while, there's sometimes a tendency to try to make up for lost time. Kamari seemed in control. Did you like that?
Yeah, he did. And he's been on a pitch count. He was on a pitch count tonight. And in practice, he's gotten a little rep with the scout team just to try to knock some rust off. And then I brought him over, and he hasn't practiced. He's practiced 3 days, but it's still. We'll continue to manage it and listen to what the medical people say and the trainers and the doctors. But I didn't even have to say anything to him about it. I thought about it at shoot around today. Do I, just remind him? But he's mature. He understands, and he understands what this team needs. We missed his, albeit just small minutes. We missed that personality on the floor that he brings.
Sure, you mentioned the offensive rebounds by Crowl, but that sequence, what does that tell you about your team? It was a 4-point game there, and if you miss a couple shots and don't get the ball and they don't go and score, it can kind of flip it in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean we've been in a lot of. That's one thing about this group as we've gone through, tougher times. They haven't broke. They haven't. They keep coming practicing well. I thought we practiced really well for 3 days. I anticipated us to play decently well tonight. They haven't flinched and felt sorry for themselves. They understand, this is part of it, part of the journey. Continue to get yourself out of the, predicament you're in, and continue to get better. And the next 40 minutes is what we need to focus on. And they did a good job of preparing for that, coming off of Saturday's game and really flushing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and getting ready for tonight.
On the stage, coach in the back.
Yeah.
Greg, at the beginning of the week, most experts, bracketologists had you guys firmly in the tournament. Regardless of what happens Saturday at Purdue, next week in Minneapolis, do you guys think you've done enough already to deserve a berth?
I don't even really get into that. I mean, our body of work speaks for itself. You look at who we played and what we've did throughout the course of the year. Yeah. I mean, I don't think, if you look at, again, you go back to November, December, January, you sputter a little bit in February, we've got a really good resume. I'm not going to get it onto the quad ones, quads twos, and who's played who and who has the most quad one wins and all that. We're right there. So we'll worry about that in another week and a half or whatever it is. We'll get ready for Purdue and then try to go, see if we can do some damage in Minneapolis. We have all our goals in front of us except for the regular season. That one slipped away from us. So now you hit reset and let's get ready for a really, really good Purdue team and move on from there.
One more question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Coach, in the first half, especially in the pick and roll, it seemed like Williams was kind of getting some of those mid-range jumpers. Mm-hmm. What ultimately did you guys change in the second half to maybe make it a little more difficult in the pick and roll for them to score?
Put Chucky on him was one adjustment. Put John on him was another one. Be better at getting over the ball screens. We stuck on screens. We moved the screener's defender up a little higher, too, at halftime. He still got some in the start of the second half. We didn't get over the ball. We didn't get over the ball screen well enough. We were sticking on it, but Chucky was able to get that kind of under control and also did a better job down the stretch getting him off his strong hand. We pushed him left a few times and pushed him into tougher shots.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Your guys getting stuck on the screen, not getting over the top. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of moving screens called this year. Do you think guys are sometimes trying to draw something like that and trying to initiate contact?
No, it's individual based. Some guys are better at geting over them than others, but that's a genetic thing or what it is. But Some guys are more natural and more accustomed. Some guys are better at chasing. Some guys don't chase the screens really well off shooters, and they're really good on ball screens. Other guys, crash into screens or do a face plant into screens or get their hips locked up with them, but yet they're really good off the ball. So just keep drilling it, keep getting better at it, but it's really boiled down to it's an individual talent that some guys have, and some guys it's not their strong suit. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Coach.